We're answering your questions here during another NFL mailbag. I am Will Scott. Appreciate everyone watching today's video, and we'd also appreciate you sharing today's video. Here's how you do it. Click the share button, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter. Tag me at WillScott44 for a retweet. First 10 shares get a follow back. Again, at WillScott44 on Twitter. I'll retweet it and follow you back. We'd appreciate you sharing today's video. Carter Reimer, what's up, man? Will Elijah Higgins be the next Darren Waller? They were both drafted around the same time and both switched from wide receiver to tight end. Carter Reimer, man, I mean, he's got an optimistic look on this Elijah Higgins pick. So for those that don't know, and Carter's a big Dolphins fan, the Dolphins drafted Stanford wide receiver Elijah Higgins in the 6th round. The plan is to convert him to a tight end. And I'm kind of thinking, well, why didn't you just draft a tight end if you wanted a tight end? But they liked Higgins. They're going to give him a shot as a tight end. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna sit here though, Carter, and say he's going to be Darren Waller. We'll see. I'd be happy for him if he made the team. I think he's on the roster bubble ultimately. But that's a good point you bring up. Darren Waller did move from a wide receiver to tight end, so we'll see if Higgins can be a similar project there. But keyword, Higgins is a project. Chualor, what right tackle free agent available for the 49ers, and how much should they pay? Well, I'm big on Cameron Fleming, as producer Jack Lauderay knows. I think Cameron Fleming's fantastic. I think he's the best offensive tackle still out there. And I think Chualor, the Niners could get him for pretty cheap, maybe 1 year, $4 million, $3 million signing bonus. This cap hit next year would be $1 million. I think that'd be a good deal for y'all. Big Stick. Think Texans could be a sleeper playoff team after their solid draft. It's going to come down to C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, yeah, the Texans might make the playoffs because they have Will Anderson. This defense is pretty solid all of a sudden. They have a good offensive line. They have some running back depth with Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary. Their wide receiver room looks pretty good. They drafted Tank Dell and Xavier Hutchinson. I think sleeper playoff teams are pretty good word there. Maybe 8-9, but if they're 8-9, they might be in contention in the AFC South. Will the Texans make the playoffs? Type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comment section. I'm going to say no, but I see this team winning 7 or 8 games, maybe being in the playoff picture. That playoff picture graphic, maybe being in that at the end of the season. Saquon Barkley. That's funny. Would the Bears be the most likely to land Chase Young if he demands a trade? So, yeah, his option didn't get picked up. That was a little bit of a surprise. I certainly would consider the Bears contenders to get him. Y'all have a decent amount of draft capital. I do believe that Chicago could be in the mix there to land Chase Young. Maybe the Niners. Can you imagine that? I mean, they already have so much talent in the defensive line. The Niners might be a sleeper team to watch there. Richard Lococo, Bears fan, number 1. Congratulations on a good draft, Rich. What do you think of the Chicago Bears draft? And would you predict the record for the Carolina Panthers for the Bears' first-round pick from them? That's a good question. I think the Panthers are going to be respectable this year. I'll say 7-10. Probably fringe top 10 pick for the Bears next year. I like the Bears draft. I really did. I know some people have kind of mixed feelings about it. I'd give the Bears a solid B+. RC Plane Builder 2, great app. Should the Panthers hire Cam Newton to be a quarterback coach for Bryce Young? Well, considering they have Josh McCown as the quarterback's coach, no. The funny thing is, Josh McCown was a finalist for the Texans head coaching job 2 straight years, not this past year, but the 2 years prior, because the Texans had a vacancy 3 straight years. And I'm thinking, why doesn't this guy just go and be a quarterback coach? Like, he does not deserve to be an NFL head coach right now. I do believe he will make a good NFL head coach one day, McCown. I don't think he's going to be a quarterback's coach for very long. So maybe if McCown leaves this next year to be an OC or head coach, you bring in Cam Newton. That's not a terrible idea. I think Cam still wants to play, but maybe in future years, he'll be more open to being a coach instead of playing. The NFL draft is in the books, but you can still go get your favorite team's draft cap right now. Chatsports.com/NFL Draft. Hats, go and pick yours up right now. Every single team is on there. Chatsports.com/NFL Draft. Hats, that link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Go and pick up your favorite team's draft hat right now. Michael Ortman, what's up, Michael? We appreciate the question. Bears sign Yannick Ngakoue. Yeah, he's our number one free agent still available. Stay tuned for that video here in a second if you're watching live. Yes, I do believe the Bears are the favorites to bring in Yannick Ngakoue. Still plenty of cap space there in Chicago. Cameron Briglin, appreciate the question. How'd you rank the teams in the AFC East 2023 draft? Are you asking, like, how I think they did in the draft or ranking the teams after the draft? I'll just go with both. I think the Bills are still the top team in that division after the draft. I put the Dolphins at number 2, Jets at 3. I think there's 3 playoff teams in the East. Sorry, producer Jack Lauderay, I do not think your Patriots are a playoff team. They're 4th in the division, even though the Patriots did have a great first-round pick in Christian Gonzalez. In terms of how each team did in the draft, I do think that the Patriots probably had the best draft, even though they trade up for a kicker. Second best draft, I would say Buffalo. Third best, Miami. Fourth best, Jets. James Heiner, do you believe that Washington will take a quarterback in 2024 after not picking one this year? Yes, I think they're thinking, okay, best case scenario, Sam Howell's the guy. Worst case, Sam Howell's going to suck, and we're going to get Caleb Williams. I think that's what the Commanders are thinking right now. So, yes, if Sam Howell's not the guy, which I don't know if he is, quite frankly, then, yeah, they'll take a quarterback next year. Maybe Drake Maye or Caleb Williams. JJ McCarthy as well. Raiders for life. What's up? Should the Raiders call Julio Jones? No. I do not see that happening. He apparently still wants to play. I think he will find a home. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for Vegas. Be sure to subscribe. Again, nonstop coverage all year long. That is the sublink right there. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. John Dorman, most likely to go from last to first in their division and vice versa. Man, that's a great question. Most likely to go from last to first. I'm the host of Dolphins Today. Dolphins fans are not going to like me for this. The Jets have an opportunity to contend in the division. I do not think they're going to win the division, but are they going to contend? Absolutely, they are going to contend. That's an 11-win football team right there in New York. They'll contend. Vice versa, I would say probably NFC. I will go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did win the South last year, but they lost Tom Brady. Kyle Trask probably going to be the guy. The Panthers got better. They got Bryce Young. The Saints got better. They got Derek Carr. I would say the Buccaneers. Another team to watch out for, though, from last to first, I'm going to go with Texans and Browns being the dark horse teams there. Big year for Cleveland. They got to win. I don't see them winning that division, but they could make the playoffs. Cali Lama, you think Malik Cunningham will make the Patriots roster as UDFA third QB or maybe another position? I don't think he'll make the roster, but I do think that he's going to be good in the preseason. I think they'll keep him around on the practice squad. I will say this, though, Cali Lama. I don't know why teams aren't carrying 3 quarterbacks on the 53. I mean, most teams carry 2. I really don't get that. You've got to have some depth. Look at what the Niners did, keeping Brock Purdy on the 53 man. That worked out pretty well. Next question. Doom, I don't know. I'm just going to call you Yoshi because the profile pic. What do you think the Steelers' record is going to be this year? It's a good question. I'm going to say 10-7. I think y'all sneak into the playoffs. I'm going to say 10-7 for the Steelers. I liked what they did in the draft. I loved the Broderick Jones selection. Love going up, getting Broderick Jones. Darnell Washington was an absolute steal. I could not believe that he fell. Joey Porter Jr. was another steal. Y'all had probably the 2 biggest steals in the draft. Darnell Washington and Joey Porter Jr. Great draft. Clap it up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kentucky Ken, what's up, man? Shout out Will Levis. Should Titans trade Tannehill after drafting Levis? No. If Levis had been a first-round pick, maybe they'd consider it. We heard a lot of rumors last week that they were shopping Tannehill. Don't know if those rumors were true or not. But I think since Levis was a second-round pick, you let Tannehill have another year as the starter, and then let Levis take over if Tannehill struggles or if you let him go next offseason. Who should start in Tennessee? Probably not Malik Willis. So Ryan Tannehill or Will Levis? Type T for Tannehill or type L for Levis down in the comment section. I think Will Levis is the better option right now. I'm not going to lie. Who? Chad Jones. What's up, Chad? Our Super Chat MVP from Friday's Live. We appreciate you. What do you think Miami will do with the extra running backs, and what did you think of our draft? Chad, it's so funny, dude. It's like, and he's referring to the Dolphins here in terms of our draft. I woke up this morning, and I'm like, I think I should have given the Dolphins a C in my draft grade video. I gave them a B. The Cam Smith pick still puzzles me. Hopefully that makes sense later down the road. The Elijah Higgins pick is weird. If you wanted a tight end, why'd you take a wide receiver that you're going to convert into a tight end? They waited until the 7th round to address their biggest needed offensive tackle. I'd say C. They did okay, but some picks were just weird. You have 4 picks. You had to make the most of them. In terms of the extra running backs, Chad, I think after June 1st, they could move on from Ahmed or Gaskin and not owe them anything. But if they somehow go after Cook, what are they going to do with Mostert and Wilson? I don't think either of those guys are going to have interest in being RB3. So that's going to be really interesting because obviously Devin Achane is going to be a top 3 running back for you. Daniel, what's up? Do we honestly believe that D-Hop is staying in Arizona? It's clearly he wants out of there and wants to be on a contender like the Cowboys or someone. Producer Jack, from Arizona, do you have something to say here?
So it's funny that this question came up today because at the time of recording this on Monday, DeAndre Hopkins posted a video on Instagram and said this: I see everyone telling me to stay. Who said I wanted to go? Who said I wanted to leave? He said, I'm out here working. He said that today on Instagram at the time of recording this on Monday.
Okay. And then you heard Monty Ossenfort, the Cardinals GM, asked about this pre-draft. He said that they're not going to move D-Hop. So at this point, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is going to get traded. Daniel, I'm going to believe the front office at this point, which sometimes I don't believe the front office when they say things. At this point, I'm going to believe it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We go live twice a week.